Today, it's how to use an eSIM when you got international travel made simple, because I need simple. I'm not all that techie, but even I got this mastered on our last trip. We all have different plans and different companies that we get our cell service through, which charge either like a per day international fee. Some of them, it's included in your monthly cost. Other ones have a huge data roaming charge. But with eSIMs, it's made it more affordable. And once we learn how to use WhatsApp, if you haven't tried it yet, it's a no-brainer way to go internationally. In September, we landed in Venice, stayed there a few days, and then we went through Slovenia and then on to Croatia and jumped on a boat. I was looking for an eSIM plan that would accommodate all those different countries. I found the perfect one. If this is your first time here or you just stumbled across me, I'm Andrea with A Glimpse of Good Travels, that pilot wife lady, and I share all things travel so that you can travel well, travel light, and travel in your own kind of style. What is an eSIM? An eSIM is a digital card that's going to allow your phone to connect in a foreign country and get local data versus being charged a foreign transaction fee to get data. It is a data plan, the ones that I'm going to talk about. So your phone number stays the same, but you won't be going through your text messages. This is where WhatsApp comes in. So think of it as it's your buddy pass. So when you sign up for an eSIM, you're going to pack it and have it ready to go on your phone, but you're not going to activate it till you get there. You're not going to meet your buddy until you arrive at your destination. So let's break down each of those points so that you're not scared to give this a try. Or maybe you're not. I put it off for years because it intimidated me. So I just use our cell phone plan. You just have to train yourself and probably the ones you're communicating with, but that's easy too. Step one is, before you do anything, make sure that your phone is eSIM ready. Most iPhones, most Samsungs, newer Google phones, they're all capable of doing an eSIM, but you're going to want to make sure before you pay that fee. In your phone, to make sure it's unlocked, go into your settings, general information, or it might say about, and then you'll see something that says carrier locked. We want it to say no SIM restrictions. Another way you can do this is on your phone directly, and you're going to look for an EID. You go into settings, general, about, and scroll until you see EID, and there's a number there. If that number shows up, your phone's going to support the eSIM. So far, so good? The next part is deciding which eSIM is going to work best for you and your trip. 3 of them that I looked into and 2 I have tried. Airalo is a very popular one, easy to use. Saily is another good one. And then there's Ubigi. So my son went to Ireland this past summer, so I had him try out the Saily version, and it worked pretty well. The setup, we kind of had a few little glitches, but all in all, he was able to use that the full 10 days that he was there and communicate with his buddies and, of course, mom. Very important to communicate with mom. The trip I tried it on was that Venice, Slovenia, Croatia trip. And so for that reason, I went with Ubigi, because they offered 3 different ways to get an eSIM, which made it much easier for us, and I didn't have to keep switching plans. So with Ubigi, you can get a local, a regional, and a world travel pass. So you're going to pick your plan that you want. Stay till the end because I go over the mistakes that I made too. Save yourself a little money. With Ubigi, you can do it either through getting a QR code that you're going to scan. You'll keep that in your email. Make sure that you star it or flag it so you don't lose that email. Or you can go the route I did, and I downloaded the app on my phone because I didn't know how much data I was going to need. And this way it was going to make it much easier for me to download additional data along our 2-week trip. I downloaded the app, and you fill out your information on there, you'll have that accessible, and it also tells you how much data you're using, so you know when you're getting close to purchasing more, which is another nice feature that I like. You're going to choose how much data you need and for how long. The other thing that I liked about it is I didn't really know. Like, I knew I was going to message, I knew I was going to have to call our hotels, our Airbnbs, obviously message the kids and family back home. I take a lot of pictures, I take a lot of video, so it was kind of a test to see. I bought one of the lowest package on the world version to make sure I got all 3 countries covered. And then each time I used the data, it would kind of tick down on the tracker, so I knew when I was getting close. But the other big plus with Ubigi was I could download more data even if I was out. That was my other stressor was, okay, what if I get distracted and I run out of data? I'm going to have to turn back on my phone, go through my plan to get more data. You know the cycle. This I could do easily even if I ran out and forgot about it. Big selling point for me. Okay, you've purchased it and now you're going to install it so that you have it on your phone. Using the app, you're going to go into the settings, and then under cellular, you're going to see adding an eSIM, and then you're going to add that plan onto your account so that it's there and ready. It's all installed, but don't activate it. I should also mention that once you install it, then possibly rename it. I named mine Croatia trip, just so it makes it distinct on what trip you're using it on, especially when you love it and you want to use it again, you'll know the right trip to refer to for what data plan that you're on for that trip. You've purchased, you've installed, but you haven't activated it yet. So it's like we have our suitcase all packed and ready to go, but we haven't actually left the house. Once you reach your destination is when we're going to activate the eSIM. We've landed in Venice. Now we're going to activate the data plan. And how we're going to do that is you're going to go into your settings under cellular, and you're going to pick that Ubigi line, and you're going to turn that line on. Under cellular data, to choose Ubigi, make sure that the data roaming is on for the Ubigi line. This step I forgot to turn that line on, so it caused a little confusion for me at first. Give it a 1 potato, 2 potato, and then once you see like a 4G or a 5G, you'll know that you're connected. Another way to test it would be to open up Google Maps or Safari and try searching something. If something pops up, you're all connected and good to go. We have our data plan and we're connected with the world again. The next step would be to get WhatsApp. The difference here is we had to let the group we were traveling with, as well as people back home, make sure that they were also on WhatsApp, because we couldn't use our text feature. That's connected with our phone number, which locally is back in the States. That's the one caveat, is getting familiar with WhatsApp, which everyone in Europe uses. It really is a perfect app to use. You just have to make sure that everybody else is on it before you leave home, so that there's no confusion there, because you won't be able to answer your texts. Let's get WhatsApp on your phone. Once you've got WhatsApp on your phone, just make sure that everyone you want to contact or who might need to contact you has WhatsApp also. You would send them an invite if they don't have it to join you on there. And then that way you can text, you can call, you can video chat. And if you've ever traveled internationally before, or even if you haven't, it's a lot. You have to do a lot of planning, and especially with all of these new travel waivers, it gets overwhelming. As I've said before, I live by checklists. I have made an international prep checklist for you, and I'll link it down in the description, that if you want that, it's kind of a quick checklist to go through of like, okay, did we do this? But it's one less thing that you're trying to use mental memory, which if you're in this midlife with me, you know sometimes that's not always reliable. If you want that, click down there in the description and it's all yours for free. And along with those checklists, I've made another checklist when I was going through and making this video, that I got all the points and reminders and my mistakes. The first thing was remember to turn off airplane mode. Check that Ubigi or whatever plan you've chosen is selected as the data line. That was the one little hiccup that got me where I was like, this isn't working. I can't do this. It works if you do it right. Make sure that your data roaming is on once you have your eSIM data line selected. And then if it's still not hooking up once you land, turn off your phone and turn it back on. So sometimes, they get glitchy of like, I don't know where I am. Label the eSIM. The other thing that's really important is to turn off your US data line so that you're not accidentally roaming and don't know it. That gets expensive. The charges, where Ubigi has the local, regional, and world. I went with the world initially, and I did 500 megabytes for $12. I should have gone deeper into the notes on the plan before I bought it, because I would have only needed a regional, because Italy, Slovenia, and Croatia are all considered in the same region. And so I could have gotten a regional 3 gigabytes for only $7. Make sure you research where you're going and then which might be the best plan for you. So when I re-upped the second time, because I went through 500 megabytes really fast, I got the regional the next time around with the 3 gigabytes. And then that was perfect. I'll add links to the eSIMs that I'm familiar with. Pick the best for your particular way that you travel and make it easier. That is how to use your eSIM. Less expensive, and as long as you can get everyone on board with WhatsApp, you'll be set and ready to go for your next trip. I'll be back here again next week with a new travel tip to help you travel well, travel light, and travel in your own kind of style. I do a short a day also. So if you want a quick little tip, you can jump into the shorts, or better yet, subscribe. And then you can get the notifications when those pop up. Happy travels. So it's not a few, it's 3 of them. You'll be set and ready to go for your next trip.